I'm Adam the Game Boy, joined with
Xenoture Gaming.
Sceptendo.
So, what have you guys been playing or watching recently?
I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Sometimes moving off to Minecraft because the new Nether update came out, and boy, I tell you, it's pretty tough. Then I just started going back today, literally today, before this recording, just started going back to Pokemon because I wanted to see what this new Isle Armor was about.
Okay, so Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield, yeah, I should have said that. Sword and Shield, yeah.
There's so many Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've gotten into like some old 360 games that I used to play, like Fallout 3, which is my favorite. Project Sylphid Arcus Deception, which I got for 99 cents at a GameStop once.
Yeah, you were telling me about that when we were planning this.
I also bought like The Outer Worlds, just because I was craving a sci-fi experience. Like I've been craving a really specific brand of sci-fi.
That's the one it's like Fallout, right? I think it's made by the same people too, isn't it?
It's made by Obsidian, which made Fallout New Vegas, but they originally owned the Fallout brand when it was like Interplay.
That's on my wish list.
It's a short game, but it is amazing, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It just, I want there to be more to it, but at the same time, it's perfect how it is. I don't care about Sekiro or whatever it was. The Outer Worlds should have been Game of the Year. I don't care. It is one of the best games I've played this year. And then I also started playing No Man's Sky.
Has that improved quite a bit? Because I know they have been improving it.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Like it appeals to what I want in a sci-fi game of being a scavenger, but it doesn't appeal to dropping me off with nothing at all. I don't want any tutorial. I want to have nothing and build myself up from nothing. I don't want the mining laser it gives me. I don't want the advanced spacesuit. I want to start with absolute nothing. Giving me this stuff implies that I have a past. I don't want a past. I want nothing.
You want to be naked in a huge universe.
It's like how Minecraft Steve is just dropped off into some random place out of nowhere whenever you start up a new game. I want nothing, and I want to make my own and build myself up to that point. Because like my favorite experience in that game is finding a random that wasn't even functional and just making it functional and slowly fixing it up to be a good ship. I want a game like that, and I also want to play as an orc. That's just me. That's just me though, because I want to play as some sort of space orc.
Well, for me, I've just been drowning in a backlog of games because I took a break from playing The Witcher 3 because I picked that up. I started playing this dungeon crawling game that's basically like horror waifu versions of fairy tale characters, and now I got a whole bunch of games on the summer Switch sale, and I'm playing Grandia and Poi. And Grandia is a pretty cool RPG. Like, it's got a pretty good story.
So no Okami?
No, I've been done with Okami for quite a while. I would not recommend Poi though. It's like a really slippery, awkward feeling, like Mario. It's a platformer.
Like if Mario was like covered in lubricant when running, like with ice.
Yeah, it's basically like ice physics in the air. Just like feels really slippery. You're jumping.
So it's the water stages in Mario 64, but when you're walking.
Or you're like playing as Luigi with the little glide feet he has. And Mario, Mario Advance 4? Well, I don't know if he had that in any other game. Or maybe Mario 2 he had that too.
The ground traction feels okay. It's just like whenever you jump it feels really weird and slippery, and like you're just jumping way further than you thought you were going to jump. You can't judge where you're trying to jump to. Depth perception is all weird. The ropes have like really bad... what's the word I'm looking for? Like you don't just snap to the ropes as much as you feel like you should.
I know what you mean, yeah.
See, when I feel like it's one of those slippery air type of things, I that's why I just do that thing that we all do with controllers in games like that, is where you jump forward, but then you're just rapidly tapping back to see if you can reverse the distance.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Am I the only one that does that?
Yeah, I do that when you think you're overshot it. Yeah, and then you just like, oh god, I know what you mean. So there's another game. I just recently bought it because I had some money shipped in from Macari, because I use Macari. Don't judge me. It's another Minecraft game, and you probably know what I'm talking about. Minecraft Dungeons. It just came out, and it's a dungeon crawler. Since the name Minecraft Dungeons, and it's actually really interesting. Now, when it first was announced, I was a little skeptical, but you have the choice to use different weapons, such as well, you have 2 weapon slots. You got your crossbow and then your melee. There's different melee weapons, and there's different types of crossbows. There's crossbows that are not even in the original Minecraft game, like a rapid firing crossbow, a heavy crossbow, a scatter shot crossbow, and then you got melee weapons that are not even in Minecraft itself too, like a glaive weapon, like a long pole weapon, daggers, like dual wield daggers, sickles, hammers and stuff. It's really interesting. The way they've done it is nice, and there's even DLC coming out for it. And for people that are wanting a new experience, try it out. It's nothing like Minecraft where, you gotta farm resources and this and that. Nothing like it. There's currency, not cryptocurrency, currency in the game that you collect from killing mobs in the dungeons, emeralds and stuff. It's really interesting. I totally recommend it for people who are looking for new playstyle of Minecraft or something.
I just never got into Minecraft, and I want to apologize because I just realized I had my air conditioner on. And it's right by where I was recording, so I don't know if that was getting picked up.
It was not getting picked up. We didn't even hear it.
Okay, I might turn it back on in a few minutes then, so I don't get super hot.
Mine was going on for a few minutes. I didn't even notice it was on.
We didn't hear yours.
I have a window unit because I need to get central air installed.
Same here, because I live in like an attic room space. There's like no air conditioning up here, and what there is just doesn't work. So I have to have this window unit.
Yeah, being a homeowner is there's a lot of stuff to fix, and the whole quarantine and closing everything down hasn't helped that this year.
Yeah,
I'm behind where I was hoping to be. Well, how have the stay-at-home orders and closures affected your habits as far as gaming and?
Well, I want to say that not sponsoring anything. I don't mean to sponsor. I was just I'm in a Discord chat, and I previously mentioned this before, that I am a huge Endless Ocean fan, and the Discord chat I'm in is a bunch of Endless Ocean fans, and we're trying to get like a very detailed letter out to Nintendo Japan and Nintendo America to see if they can at least port the original game, both 2 original games. Porting is it's not as expensive as making a new game, but we actually made a really detailed letter, and we were supposed to ship it out, and then
a magnetic storm
happened, and we can't ship it out. Especially one of the main guys I talked to lives in a foreign country, and he was actually supposed to ship it out, and he can't. But we were really almost done with this project, and but that's basically what the main thing stopped us. Stopped me. I mean.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to make a mental note to bleep out the
crud
thing, because YouTube's really weird about that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Are you gonna do like the unique censor that you did last time?
Probably. I'll come up with something unique.
Awesome.
What is that?
Wait, no.
People are gonna think we're all swearing.
All this effing mess, all the shingles has done to me. I can't think of a good word.
Just say the virus. I don't think that's bad.
All this viral infections that we have been enduring throughout these trying times has done to my habits Okay, screw this. I'm not doing it. I'm not going with the bit anymore. Okay, all this has done to me is make me break out some old stuff that I've tried playing before, that I haven't played in a while. Like my old 360. And trying out some of those old games and trying some games that I just typically have been putting off for a while. Like No Man's Sky that I mentioned before. Because the last time I played that was New Year's Day of 2019. And then I've only recently started getting back into it a whole year later on like this month.
Yeah, for me it's kind of just been like I've had more time to put into gaming, and basically that I've been able to get through more of my backlog than I probably would have been able to get through. But
Gotcha.
I've not made that much progress, honestly.
All right, so this was around the time that the virus started. Resident Evil 3, the remake, came out. I pre-ordered the collector's edition, and I want to say it's a little teeny bit of a rant. GameStop has screwed me over. I got the collector's edition, but I had to wait until I want to say middle of May for them to ship it out to me, and I was really ticked off. So I was kind of a friend had to buy a digital copy for me, like a code or PlayStation Network card code, and I really wish he didn't do that, but he was really nice and he did it for me. So I got to experience the game, and I was kind of a little disappointed with the game because it was short and they cut out some content. But overall, it was a great experience playing a game that I really loved when I was a kid. But the collector's edition situation, do not approve of that.
Yeah, GameStop's just you can't trust GameStop.
I've been going to them all my life, and I never had a problem with them until that. And that probably drew, like, even though that's the first problem, that draws the line for me. That's a little bit ridiculous.
I love GameStop. I don't like their business practices. I just love having a place that I can buy a physical copy of a game, because I'm not just gonna put a ton of stuff onto my Switch or my PS4 or any system in general, because they just don't have that much space on them. And even with the micro SD or like extra storage space, it's still not going to be enough to last me forever. So if I can keep putting off getting a new one by just buying a physical copy, that will help me a lot. And only using that storage space for like either small games or download DLC, then I can basically bypass that I can basically make everything last a whole lot longer and also delaying stuff.
I was just gonna say that I just got like a really big SD card for my Switch, and not like I just got one, but I got one a while ago, and it's like 200 gigabytes, I think, or something. I'm checking.
My God.
I'm checking right now, and I just delete games. I do the whole like, I forget what they call it, but where it's deleted from your system and you can re-download it.
Archive, I think.
Yeah, I archived the games that I finished.
To this day, the largest thing that has ever been on my Switch was Starlink. And that wasn't even downloaded. I got a physical copy of it, but it wanted me to update a ton of stuff, which was like 24 gigabytes.
The largest thing on my Switch, and I'm not going to delete this until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, is Breath of the Wild, and it's not a physical copy because it was during the holidays and GameStop was closed. It was actually Christmas Day. This is when I first got my Switch, and I downloaded Breath of the Wild with the DLC, and it's the biggest file on my Switch right now, and I'm not going to get rid of it until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. Can't wait for that.
Who remembers when they added a motorcycle into Breath of the Wild?
That's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing.
Mine too. The only thing I don't like about it is that you can't do jumps with it. You can't like jump over that. You can't jump the canyon, or else they'll just despawn.
But I don't use my horse anymore.
It's got to be like 200 gigabytes. Looking through
that's insane.
My space.
Mine is 64 gigs.
The two games that I got on my Switch, first thing after I got it, because like I planned out everything because I was still in high school. I had planned out everything for my birthday. Like I would buy the Switch myself, but on my birthday I would make a list of things that would be additives to the Switch, like a screen case, because like I would get help from other people by putting them on a birthday list to get this stuff. And Breath of the Wild and Has Been Heroes were the two things I got. And Has Been Heroes wasn't anything I asked for. It was just a really cheap game at the time. So Breath of the Wild, I have a physical copy still on my shelf. And it's not taking that much space up in my Switch right now. The most Breath of the Wild takes up now is save data and the DLCs.
My first Switch game was Mario Odyssey, and I can't tell you enough how much I love Mario Odyssey. That's probably as good, if not, well, not better, but almost as good as Mario 64 and Sunshine.
I want to replay those games because I've beaten both. But my big issue is I get bored midway through because I've already gone through them once or twice, depending on what they are. But like, I just get too bored. So I feel like games these days need to find a way to make every experience unique in some way.
Yep.
But not put too much, but not go overboard with all this extra, like going over the budget and all. I mean, like basically making everything different to some extent. It's like basically a new way to start the game, like Skyrim. I've played Skyrim so many times, but I hate going through the beginning because I played it so much. Like, if I could just choose to play as anything else, I would. But I've never played Skyrim on PC, so I've never been able to mod the game. And I've only played it on non-moddable consoles. So, like, I've never modded Skyrim in my life. And that sounds like
I have
when talking about Skyrim. But, like, I've never played the game from a different start. But I do know that there's, like, I would love just to do the console command thing where you leave your body and go and you start and take control of another character, like a random bandit's body. They can't use shouts. They're not the Dragonborn. They're literally just a random dude. And I just love to play as just a random other person that's not even part of the game. That would be pretty fun to me.
I feel like Mario Odyssey did pretty good on being replayable.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much technical stuff you can do in that game that if you really want to, you can like do all kinds of sequence breaking. People have managed to beat the game without jumping and all kinds of weird stuff.
That requires actual effort and actual skill.
Yeah, you can create the unique playthrough for you.
I'm good at basically playing a game. I'm not good at destroying or bypassing a game. I don't have that kind of skill. There's a people that do, and I can respect them. I just can't do it myself or even care to get into it.
I don't either, but I do like midway between just playing super casually and doing stuff like that. You'll get stuff in ways that weren't the intended way that the developers may have created for players to get the whatever you're getting. I don't know if I phrased that well.
For some reason, all I can think about right now is Mario Tennis. I've never played the game myself. Well, actually, I did demo it. But like, all I can think about is like, what if they made Mario Tennis, but in the fashion that they made Mario Odyssey in? An open world tennis game!
So you want to... Do you want to know a game that you can breeze through, but it's like kind of hard to do unless you transfer stuff? Pokemon. You can breeze through that game.
Okay, I actually played Pokemon Shield, but I did a unique playthrough that very few people will be able to do because it costs $60 plus the game to do. I had intended to get Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, like one of those games. I had got a Pokeball Plus first, but I never got the game. So I had like this unused Pokeball Plus for a whole year, and then Pokemon Sword and Shield came out. So by using the Pokeball Plus, I was able to get a level 1 Mew onto my game, and I basically played the game with Mew as my starter. I completely ignored my original starter because I don't think that starter ever won a fight. I basically just I intentionally lost the first battle with it because I hate being railroaded down a certain path, And I feel like that fight, it was made for me specifically to win because of how easy it is. So I let him win because it got to a point where I was frustrated with my opponent saying, "Just attack me! Stop using Screech! Stop using whatever! Just attack me!" It took me, but like I played throughout the whole game with Mew, and it's a fun playthrough having Mew as your own partner Pokemon. Because like you're playing with this mythical Pokemon before you even get like any legendaries, and it's just really fun to play like that. Because you're never gonna get that opportunity again. So I just sort of enjoyed that while I had it.
I like the thing whenever you're battling. Like this is obviously when you transfer legendaries and you're able to use them. Because what I mean by able to use them, you have to get the badges and they have to be a certain level. So when you're battling a trainer or like a challenge, what do you call it? A gym trainer or a gym leader, and they're like, "Who the hell brought this guy in with a legendary?" And they're like, "Oh, well, I'm screwed. I might as well just give him the badge right now."
Here's the biggest thing I want to happen to Pokemon. What I want is there to be no sequence of events. I want there to be an open world, and you unlock things naturally over time, but it's all based on your own skill as you play. Like, you have to capture certain Pokemon that will give you abilities to do other things, but that's not locked behind special things. You do that, and there's like no sequence. You can go to any gym that you want and challenge them in whatever sequence you want. Like, make the whole game an entire wild area with certain villages sprinkled throughout, kind of like how Breath of the Wild was. Because like my favorite thing that I've ever done in a Pokemon game was in Pokemon Heart Gold, going to the Kanto region and just sort of challenging the gyms in whatever order I wanted. That was my favorite thing I've ever done in any Pokemon game.
That was cool.
Well, do you guys have any interesting stories relating to the quarantine stuff?
I've used a mind control ray on a robot, and it killed the drones, and the drones killed it. And then
what?
And then I went to like the corporate CEO who opposed everything about me, and I used my mind control ray on him, and he died, seeing my point of view.
Okay.
Is this that one game?
This is about one of the games I've talked about, but I'm not saying which one because of spoilers, and I just love how there's no context to these statements, so I'm not gonna give them context because they're a lot more funny this way.
All right,
that's definitely true.
But they sound random and out of place.
But any interesting story?
Yeah, like anything weird or I don't know, funny.
Yeah, I got something that might be interesting. So, obviously, I think I told you guys that I have 3 lizards. And one of them, right? I told you guys I have lizards, right? So, one of them eats a type of worm called a hornworm. And after a while, these hornworm turns into cocoons and they turn into moths that actually, the moths that don't eat crops, they actually help the crops. It's called a hummingbird moth. Quite interesting. They think I'm the mama. And they come back to where they were released. They come back to the back porch of my house. I'm not joking. This is the weirdest thing ever. It's like, I mean, I know bugs are smart. I don't mean, if you guys don't like bugs, I'm sorry. I don't mean to creep you guys out, but I just thought it was interesting.
I've always wondered what happened. Most likely they die, but like,
yes, they have a short lifespan.
I was actually going to say what happens to ants, like that when you bring them really far away from their nest.
They probably die. Really
they probably get torn apart by other ants.
Yeah, because ants are really aggressive. As soon as they come near another anthill, they're gonna get slaughtered.
That, yeah. Or they're gonna, like, they think they're all tough and they'll try to fight like a spider or something. It's gonna be like David and the Goliath, but except Goliath wins.
I've actually have gotten into Starfinder, which is like D&D, but more of a science fantasy setting. But people call it Pathfinder in space, which allows me to play as an orc in space. I can't stress this enough. It lets me play as an orc in space.
The game that will let you play orcs in space if you're into RPGs, and I think it's called Mass Effect.
I mean, like the actual green people with little jaw tusks. Like, I think it was me in Skyrim that got me thinking about orcs, because like I think as a kid, like I was intentionally going to like the least popular thing, and in my head I'm thinking like, okay, I don't even see a single person enthused about orcs, so I'm gonna be that guy. So somehow that made them become like one of my favorite fantasy races.
There's always Spore, and you can create like an orc-like creature and then go into space. That's
That
one of the
involves
modes.
evolution, and that takes forever.
Spore is a great game.
Oh yeah, it is a great game, but like I have re-downloaded it several times on this computer, and I hate doing it because it barely works when I do, because I think it's because EA did a 3-time re-download only, so you're not allowed to delete the game ever off of your computer. So now it just is unstable whenever I load it up, and I don't think it even loads up the game anymore, so I can't play it.
Where did you buy it from?
I bought it
Origin?
like a physical disc from someone. Not from someone, but I bought it online, and it was like a new game. It was, so I just got that delivered. It wasn't connected to an Origin account or anything, sadly. It's not even my Origin account. It's shared like with my brother and me. So like I don't remember the login information for that, so I always have to ask around the family for that.
Thing about old disc PC games, they don't do disc PC games anymore, I think. Like games like Left 4 Dead and there was another Stronghold Crusader was another good example. They would make it that you can only download the game 3 times, so you can share it with download it on their, and then after like 3 times or whatever limit they did, you cannot download it again.
Prevent people from downloading it to other PCs or pirating it. But here's the thing. Yeah, so like if you got a new computer, you could re-download it on a different system, stuff like that. But I just want to say, like before the quarantine, I did get a disc thing. It actually connects it to my Steam account for the Darksiders Complete Edition, but there was like the 2014 Complete Edition before Darksiders 3 came out. So like I got like for like $3.75, I got both Darksiders games with all the DLC and a free comic.
Awesome. I love Darksiders. It's a really good series.
Yeah, and I think like what turned me off from Darksiders before was that I saw like the game was like $125. One of their games was $125, but I think I was looking at a special edition.
What do you think about the new top-down shooter?
Which one?
Of Darksiders.
Oh, like I haven't looked into the information like that. Like I don't look into every single game. Like I like to go into like games like this blind. Like I know nothing about any of the games except the ones I played.
Okay, I haven't played it yet, but I saw it looks pretty cool.
Like I feel like the best way to play a game is as blind as possible. Don't look into any playthroughs or let's plays. Like you're gonna get the best or worst experience out of the game depending if you do that, because you don't know what to expect at that point. When you don't know what to expect, that's when things hit you the most. I love the Outer Worlds, but I have not spoiled. When I played the game initially, I did not spoil it. Going back, I think going back and replaying it, I feel like my whole playthrough feel saturated. Like in playing like Skyrim, the beginnings always feels so overdone because I've done it so much. Like going in blind is always the best thing to do in almost any game, unless the game's really bad. But you can just look at review scores for that.
Yeah.
But sometimes the game's not just is good, but it's just not for you. But still, it's good. You're still going to get the best impact possible out of it by going in blind.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Although I do like to check and make sure that there's not missables in RPGs, and sometimes I'll follow the least spoiling guide for games if I realize that they do have a lot of missables.
Yeah.
Like Grandia, I looked and it has a lot of missables. So
I only look for like very specific things, and in the Outer Worlds, I think it's short to design for like multiple playthroughs. So I won't be worried about that because I think it's designed for different builds, like a high intelligence build or like a different or strength build. Just because there's a lot of dialogue options that revolve around what type of build that you have. Like you're gonna get like a lot of things depending on what build you set your character up for, and sometimes you're gonna get a lot of stuff in one way, sometimes you're gonna get a lot of stuff in a different way. but like it's not designed to be like Skyrim or like Fallout or anything like that. It's designed to be its own thing. But that's I mean like that's like the best for any type of game. Seriously, just be its own thing.
Yeah, agreed. What do you? So this is a question. So this was obviously during the quarantine. What do you guys think about the PlayStation 5 games lineup reveal?
I'm super underwhelmed.
Really?
This is probably the least excited I've been for a new console generation since the PS4 and Xbox One launched, because there's just not a noticeable graphical advancement. Like it doesn't look like it looked going from the Nintendo 64 to the GameCube, and that wasn't even anywhere close to like the NES to the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
The human eyes
just kind of
the only human eyes can only pick up a certain amount of like graphics at some point. We can't even experience like the really top quality stuff. It will be there, but we just won't be able to experience it because of how weak our eyes are. We'd have to literally upgrade the human body to get to that point.
Yeah, the human eye is only able to see like 2K viewing the entire screen. Anything more than that, you're losing pretty much all of the extra pixels.
And it would be a waste of effort to go any further. Like, I feel like games should have went back to like 2014 Skyrim graphics. Because like, I don't think we need to focus on the graphics as a big point. You can make a beautiful scene, but at that point it's borderline just an art piece. I feel like it's more about the experience than anything else.
I think that I'm not shitting on Xbox. I love all the consoles and PC. I hate this console war. I just think the presentation of the games lineup was way better, not counting graphics-wise. I just think the games itself were way better than the Xbox reveal because of how many exclusives there were.
Who remembers that the previous console war and how many like animations were made at the time of like of PS4 and like Xbox One of these two giant flagships, and then like you see like the Wii U in a little dinghy like rowing beside.
That was I know that channel. That's Flash Kids. That's a good. They're funny.
I just have that image. Like, I wonder what it would look like this time. Would the Switch be counted as like a biplane or something while those are boats? Because like now, because the Switch is now portable, so it can be above them because they're in one place, stuck in the ocean or the ground or whatever they choose to trace it as, while the Switch can go anywhere.
I feel like a good analogy would be to have a Switch be like one of those planes with the things that let it land on water, and then you have the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever they are calling this one,
Xbox Series X.
They're heading toward a cliff or a glacier, because like that's kind of how I feel about the new console generation.
The PS5 would be the glacier because it's white and it's huge. By the way, I know you probably heard this. The PS5 looks like a freaking router.
Okay, instead, how about this?
Something like that.
We have the Xbox go into a scarlet glacier.
Oh my god.
And the PS5 will just sort of slide along, but like it just sort of like it gets like its own special river. It gets to go down until it finally hits the shore, and it just capsizes on that shore.
It just hits a small wave and tips over.
Yeah,
with how awkwardly shaped it is.
That shore is basically an analogy for their exclusive games. They got good exclusives. Xbox just sort of hits a wall because they're out of exclusives, and so PS5 will just sort of they'll be able to make it through and last a bit longer, but then it'll just sink at the very end of it at some point, or hit a waterfall. I don't know.
And the thing that bothers me about the Xbox is they're basically putting all their games on PC, so why own a Xbox, whatever they're calling this one? I don't even remember what they call it.
To play Project Sulfide, Arc of Deception, because it's a 360 game that's only on 360, and it's not even referenced on Square Enix's webpage as something that they made because
they want to forget.
It's okay. I told you that the story was terrible, but it makes up for it in gameplay.
It's like Capcom with Dino Crisis. I want a Dino Crisis remake. Do it, Capcom.
Have you played Dino D-Day?
Dino D-Day? Yeah.
I've never played it. I just find the concept hilarious. My little brother bought me the game like when I first got a Steam account, and I still have not played it because it's absurd to me. And they killed Santa.
Wait, what game is this?
Dino D-Day.
D-Day.
It's D-Day, but if you put in dinosaurs with guns.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
It's one of those meme games.
Like the dinosaurs are tanks.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. It's really funny.
They got guns. It's like if you took an actual dinosaur but you put like weaponry on it.
So Ark with the tech.
Yes. Except they're just dinosaurs, and it's like Call of Duty, but with dinosaurs.
That's what Ark is, though. It's a survival game that has. It's a first person.
I love Ark was more like it was. I thought Ark was just Rust, but more of itself. The dinosaurs.
No, yeah, it's like Rust, but I mean, it has like there's guns in it, and it can be like a Call of Duty situation.
Rust has has guns, not dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ark a lot. I mean, for as much as the negative reviews it gets, I love it because I've been playing it ever since it first came out in early access. And
I recently got it because the Epic Games Store, which is no
had it for free.
Yeah, I got it for free, but I haven't played it yet.
I recommend it. If you can, though, get the DLC because it's worth it. You want to get the DLC.
I would recommend that for Fallout 3 too, because I love Mothership Beta.
Fallout 3 is amazing.
Yes, it is.
New Vegas is great too.
New Vegas is great, but I prefer Fallout 3 because I don't know why. I think I'm really into Fallout for the aliens.
I love Fallout 4.
I like Fallout 4, but like I don't want there to be like the big thing with an RPG is that there needs to be RPG elements, and the only thing that gives Fallout 4 an RPG element is the idea that maybe you are a synth, and maybe you had a different purpose before, and you were just placed inside of the vault. So now you can roleplay as a synth that had different purposes or a different objective at some point. So you have to like really think outside the box to give you a different roleplay perspective. But even then, you're still forced into the perspective of something that isn't part of your perspective. And it's an RPG that lacks RPG elements, and that's my biggest criticism of the game. I like the gameplay. I just want more of a. It's just the narrative is just not good, and it's just like I have a friend. I had a discussion with him. There's just no villain in Fallout 4. Like everyone's a good guy except for the Brotherhood of Steel, but even then they're justified to some degree. They're just bigots, and
Kellogg.
Kellogg isn't really a villain. He's just a mercenary, and mercenaries they just do things for cash. He was a person. Like you see his memories, and you actually see that he had something of a heart. He wasn't like he could have actually made a good villain. He could have been or even like an edgy rival. He could have made a good one of those, but no, you killed him off. So like he's not a good main villain. He's just there, and even from his perspective, everything that he's doing for the Institute is still the Institute is still doing good, and the Institute can bring good to the Wasteland, but so can the Minutemen, but so can everyone, and there are no bad guys. The Railroad even is good because it's the Railroad, and it frees people. They may not be organically grown people, but they are still people. There's no one to hate. That's the issue. Like, if there's no one to hate, there's no one to give you a satisfying ending. And it means that I end any playthrough of Fallout 4 with a sour taste in my mouth.
To be fair, all Kellogg wanted to do was make some good cereal.
Yeah. With the strawberries in it.
Special K?
Is that the one I'm thinking about?
Yeah, Special K.
I thought that was just called Kellogg's cereal.
No, Kellogg's is the brand. Kellogg's makes Special K.
So do you guys have anything else about the whole quarantine thing?
Take your vitamins, kids.
In New Jersey, everything's starting to open up, so hopefully soon I'll start getting a job. I won't be a deadbeat.
Yeah, in Kansas City, everything's officially open, but a lot of stuff's still closing early. There's a Japanese restaurant not very far from my house, and I was going to go back and try their teppanyaki, but they still are only doing takeout, and That's the kind of thing you really want to go in and sit down to have your teppanyaki.
What the heck is a teppanyaki? It sounds like a pig.
It's similar to like hibachi. It's a way of grilling.
Although I learned that hibachi is an American thing and not actually a thing that they do in Japan.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's more of a tourist thing. It's what I've heard. I was shocked to hear that because it sounds like a really Japanese thing, but it's just a tourist thing.
It was a word made to sound Japanese.
Yeah, and then they hired Japanese people to. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that. That's just what I heard. But anyway, yes, almost everything's starting to open up in New Jersey, so I'm happy.
I haven't been paying attention. I haven't gotten out of my house in ages.
I've pretty much only been going out to go to work and like buy stuff.
I have been a full-time student for like the past 2 years. So like when everything started and when the happening happened, copyright. Well, like when all that happened, I had to deal with I didn't have to deal with anything because all my classes for that semester were online, so nothing was affected. So my life was impacted the least, and even now, after I finished this semester and I've graduated with an associate's degree, humble brag, but even after all that, it's still barely affecting me because I don't really have any plans, so I never really plan out summers or anything, so I don't really have anything to do, so I'm like the least affected by all this. All I have to do is wear a mask in public because I don't want to infect anyone if I get it, and I don't want to get it myself.
When the whole thing descended, I did not know that it was in Missouri at that point. But all these people came in. They were coughing. They were. It was a disaster. Like, it was crazy. I was all alone. I was the only one.
Wow, that's probably scary.
And all these people were in here coughing. I'm pretty sure I got it because like a week later, I had really bizarre symptoms. It was like the most bizarre flu. I didn't have the stuff that old people and smokers get, but I felt like really bizarre. Like that's the best way I can put it, is I felt bizarre. Like I was randomly dizzy. I had like all kinds of digestive symptoms.
Ooh.
You're doing okay now.
Yeah, this was a couple months ago. I've completely recovered.
I was sick, but not. I don't think I had. Oh my god! I said.
I'll take the sky any day.
Oh my god! I said. During the virus, I was sick, but I didn't have the virus. I had very bad bloody noses. So it was my allergies, but I was really drowsy and I just stayed in bed like every day until they stopped, and it was pretty bad. Very bad.
It sounds good that you're doing better now. Can I end things off on a joke?
Go right ahead.
The four corners of the earth lived together in harmony, but everything changed when Nation 19 attacked. When you see 19, you'll get it.
I know.
I get it.
I know. I'm waiting for everyone to facepalm verbally.
You're pretty good.
I facepalm silently.
Do you not get that? That's a reference. You guys are gamers. You should know that reference.
It sounds familiar. It just no. The way you
it's Solid Snake.
I know, but the way you said it and the way your voice sounded, to me, it's had NSFW vibes to me, and I don't like that.
I did not mean that. I tried to do a good Solid Snake.
It did not sound like that. I do not connect the dots because of the vibes I was getting from it, and I know. Just know.
Well, at least things are looking positive.
Yep.
Just the other day, I got 2 free entry coupons for the Kansas City Zoo. So
that's nice.
Maybe I'll be able to find somebody that's not scared of the virus and go to the zoo.
Nice.
Just make sure all the animals are vaccinated.
Oh my god.
Did you guys hear about in India how these researchers were at a zoo and monkeys escaped at the zoo and the monkeys stole the samples of the virus?
What?
Don't tell me.
Yeah, that's true. Look it up.
Great. Now it's gonna be a what do you call it? 24 days.
So it's
24 days later, or 24 weeks later situation. Great. This is gonna be great.
Planet
It's gonna be like Ape Escape.
Planet of the Apes
going
too.
to happen, but with the monkeys don't even have to be sentient. They just have to get their hands on the right vials.
I don't know if I'm the only one that's seen 24 days later, but
I haven't seen a lot of movies. I have actually, but like not specific ones like that.
I watched 24 Days Later. It's really, really good. It looks like an old movie, but I mean it's pretty old. It came out like early 2000s, maybe 90s, but it's really good. It's like an interesting zombie film. It's like a zombie film, but I think they're called Infected. So, and then there's just a sequel 24 weeks later, or no, 28 days later. I don't know. It's something like that. I probably got the title all wrong.
Do you guys have any videos to promote?
No, I don't use my YouTube channel anymore for videos. Well, I mean, I guess I can
Promote
promote.
your Twitch channel.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I sometimes I live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Sceptendo_live. I play random games. Sometimes I'll play Ark. Sometimes, well, I haven't played Ark. I played Ark on there, but the video got deleted.
You play games on there.
I play games on there, yes. I want to focus on Subnautica because I still have my Subnautica save. I want to start getting more games in the future because I got a capture card. I just got to figure out how to use it because I still have a little bit of a... I only have one TV. I have a TV. And I got to figure out how to play with one screen.
Okay, I'll see if I can link to your Twitch on YouTube. I'm not sure if I can.
I think you can. Oh, I'm not forcing you to do it. I think yeah. I'm gonna hold you at gunpoint. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I play games. I don't have a set schedule, so when I do, I do. I'll announce it on Twitter too, but I don't want to promote two things.
I think I always have your guys' Twitters in the description.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah. So
I think so.
So yeah, I'll announce it on Twitter.
Awesome.
Definitely.
I don't have anything I need to promote if you're waiting for me.
Okay, well, I guess unless you guys have anything else that I'll edit before that plug.
Baba Booey.
I'm not gonna say the rest because the rest is pretty bad. But Baba Booey.
Bobby Booyah Booyah Booyah.
No, Baba Booey.
I don't even know what this is, what you're referencing.
Howard Stern.
Okay, I'm ending the recording now.